My name is Jelena, and I'm here with two wonderful ladies, Aleksandra and Shirley. And they're both participants and performers of Striking Attitudes. And we are doing this series of talks with performers of Striking Attitudes. And Aleksandra will tell you shortly what is Striking Attitudes about.
Striking Attitudes is dance theater company and now multimedia company working and engaging with people over 50, so 50 plus, with professionals and communities. And there is more to see from all of us. And with us today, welcoming Shirley, my colleague, my comrade on the stage and online. Welcome, Shirley.
Hi there.
Tell us, Shirley, when did you start working with Striking Attitudes? What is your background? How did you come up with this idea to work with them? How did this happen?
I've been dancing since year dot. I used to dance around the living room and then went into the usual ballet classes and all those things when I was younger. But then when I went to college, I was always divided between dance and drama, so I ended up doing both. And I was always taught, I worked in the theatre for a while, and then I ended up going more into dance, particularly because I loved choreography and I loved improvisation, and that was the sort of field that I felt most comfortable and happy with. And then I came to Wales, venturing in 1979 to a company called, it was Footloose then, it's now called Powys Dance, which was the first one of the first dance and education and community dance companies in mid Wales, along with Ludus. We're the only two that sort of started working in schools and community. We were very much dance teachers, and so it was an ideal combination because it combined both. And we would take themes projects, education projects, community projects, and worked with groups, so they'd be involved in the performance. And so over the years, I was with them quite a long time, became director for the company for quite a few years, and then went freelance. So I was working in lots of different projects. And during this time, I come across Caroline and Janet, because we used to come down to Cardiff for workshops. And so I got to sort of meet them then. And then later on, when I started doing more work on my own, so I used to just I did some lecturing, did various different things. And but I was particularly working with people with disabilities and with the elderly. So that was the sort of area that I'd sort of focused on quite a lot. And then Caroline put out this call right at the beginning we were interested in doing these workshops about really the older dancer, as it was described, and showing that we still had an awful lot to give, and life's experiences and so on, and to see how we wanted to work. So I was involved right from the start. But obviously before that, Caroline had the sort of professional company of dance Striking Attitudes as well. And over the years, I've sort of been with them as well as with the community company. So yes, so that first ever sessions was in I was going to say the Shore Theatre. Can't even gone blank on my name of the theatre in Cardiff. Anyway, we started workshops, which some of the people are with us now were there then. And we started with the film. I think that was the first thing we did. And yeah, that's how it all sort of began. It was just a chance. I think it came at a point when, because most of us were sort of either by then we're by the late 50s, 60s, more. And I got to the stage where I wasn't doing much myself. And I really missed being actually dancing. And I think that was the thing all the way through my career, really. I've always actually loved the performing side it's always fed me a lot. So I've enjoyed that aspect. So you'll have to tell me off if I'm rambling on.
You're great.
I could keep going on about this.
I love that. Can you tell us what's your favorite part of creative process? When you work on performance or something, what's your favorite part? How does
the play part really? I love the play. I love the experiment, with ideas and the improvisation probably. I think probably as you get older, I think I'm less able to remember sequences in the same way that I did when I was younger. So I'm afraid, so I think there's probably a lot more improvisation that happens than probably should, but because I can't remember them all. But having said that, I do love learning, as well, sequences and putting a piece together. So it's mixed, really. I love that process, and then I do love the performing element, because there's something that it's the most. I always think it was my mindfulness time, really, because when you're performing, you can't think about anything else. You are in the moment. In the same way, to a certain extent, with improvisation, is you have to be there. Otherwise, you can't engage with other people and bounce off ideas. Once you step outside of yourself, it's you lose it. So I think that's what I love about it, is that everything can shut off. Any other things that are going on in the world or around, you forget them when you're actually doing that and dancing and creating together. And it's fun. And it's like being with old friends. Well, we're all old friends, so there's also a lot of laughter, and I think that's really important. And being able to, just be with a group of people that you enjoy being with, and making work together is lovely.
And is there some theme that is your favorite theme, something that you really want, something that you like to explore or work on, or something that you already did with Striking Attitudes that's really like significant for you?
Well, I was probably the first project or two, we were very much looking at, I suppose we were looking at aging quite a lot. And I was at that time, I think my mum might have died at that point, but she had Alzheimer's for a long period. And it stayed, it was very part of my experience at that time. And so I suppose I found the whole thing of memories became a very important part. And so I found that sort of exploring the past, if you like, and memories and how it informs you now is, was something I probably, I enjoy. I sort of, it was quite painful sometimes, but I quite enjoy sort of that. And I just think it's, I'd rather draw on things that I've experienced or done, I like, the other thing I've always enjoyed, because again, of the theatre side of things, I've enjoyed the words. I've always enjoyed using language, and Caroline is often got us, doing poetry or whatever and speaking in our pieces. Some more successful than others on my part, but I've enjoyed that part, because I've always enjoyed the acting as well as the dancing. So I suppose there's probably those aspects. I don't know whether I can say any particular sort of piece. They all had lovely things about them, that I enjoyed. So it's I think that's about it, I think.
And what do you find that moves you, through the days and through your career, because you are still performing? I mean, I would love to ask you how old are you, but it's not necessary. But
I'm 67, or coming up to 68.
Wow. Okay. Well, how do you find yourself? You are having career for all these years and you are still continuing. And what moves you, what moves you through your life and through your career?
I don't like getting stuck into things. I like change. And I like to escape. Why I've found this whole year very difficult, because I like to just get off and go somewhere, and I love going to the sea, for instance, and not be able to just go and breathe the sea air and enjoy that I find difficult. So I suppose it's I suppose the element obviously must be that I've obviously still wanted to always have a certain performance. There's something that I get in doing a performance that I don't get in any other part of my life. So yes, I suppose that's kept me sort of driving me, and I really miss it when I don't do it. I need it for my soul. I need it for, you know, to and whether it's, you know, having a party and dancing, you know, going out away with our friends and having a good old leap around, you know, it just is, it's my most natural sort of, if you like, outlet is to sort of dance. And, you know, I wish I could sing, because I do sing, but I can't sing really, but just that whole combination of just letting it all go. So yeah, I think, and just being part of a group, maybe as well, just the whole community, the whole community thing of being, you know, belonging to something, you know, which I think, you know, and I am I'm not one for sort of being on my own tickle. I do like the company of others, which again is what I found difficult this year, not being able to get, particularly with women friends, you know. And you know, the other striking attitudes group, the professionals, there are a few men in there, but on the whole we've never had it, we've very rarely had men in the other group. So but and sometimes it quite changes the atmosphere, but you know, I miss the company of, you know, others. So
and
yeah.
how was, like, because you were doing most of the stuff on the Zoom, how was that experience with you? Can you, like,
yeah, I won't say it's been easy at times. I think you can get like zoomed out, people say, and sometimes, you know, if I've been talking to somebody on Zoom and then dancing, it can just almost be a bit much, and I just feel like, oh, I just want to see somebody in the flesh. I think it's certainly been great to have had something, you know, and it's great being able to carry on. I found this second half much better. The second part of the series, I think, has been, I found it in the early days much more difficult. I found it hard to switch off in my own room. I mean, I'm upstairs in the bedroom now, but my house is very, very full. I have a lot of stuff and a lot of clutter and a lot of things everywhere. So the whole thing of clearing the space, and also then when you see it on the screen and all these people's houses which have lovely clear space and white, and then mine just got stuff in it, so it doesn't work as well. So I found that frustrating, and just getting my mindset into to be able to switch off, you know, I think is quite difficult in your own house. I've sort of always felt I'd like to do it, and I really wanted to try and do it something outside, get somebody to film me outside, because I've really enjoyed the nature this year and this getting out, and I think it would feel more natural for me to dance outside, you know, than in the house. So it's been mixed, but I think I probably, yes, enjoyed more when we started doing these little what do you call them, chat rooms. Not chat rooms, that's the wrong word. What's the other word for it? Anyway, when you work with somebody else in the other rooms, I've forgotten the name now. So I think, yeah, I prefer that, because that's the closest to probably it's getting to how we would be in a group in our workshop, you know, and they're always the bits that I enjoy doing the most. So that's been interesting. And also it has been really quite eye-opening about the camera. I found that quite interesting to see what works, what, you know, it's become much closer. I mean, I paint and I love painting, but it's probably is more akin to that now with me. I see, in a way, the camera in the way I see it when I'm painting, it has more links, I think.
So almost like you paint with your body or something.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, wow. Yeah. I mean, I like playing with paint in the same way I like improvising. So they are the two similar sort of, I often think that they are, I approach the same thing in painting as I do to my movement, you know. Yeah, that's sort of, because and that hasn't probably, it's become more so this last year, I think, maybe. I've felt it more. I certainly, my painting's changed this year to what I was doing. I think that
do you feel that your dancing influences your painting, like it's like two mediums, but do they affect each other?
I think in movement, when I hear music or whatever, I think in a very visual, sort of both movement and visual way. So I suppose I think they cross over a lot. I think before I was always trying to, and I think you can equate this to same with dance, trying to be a particular thing or trying to paint a particular thing or draw it, and getting stuck and getting frustrated because I couldn't, it wasn't ever going to be like what I wanted it to be, whatever I was maybe following or copying. And the same thing I kind of think can be applied in dance. You know, if you haven't got, when you're older, you haven't got the technique or not the body, you know, I've got arthritic knees, I've got bad feet, all these various things. So you can't ever achieve what you see others perhaps doing physically anymore. And I think I've applied the same a bit with my painting. I suddenly realized that actually I was happiest when I was letting things happen. And they were much more organic, really, and sort of becoming much more expressive. And I actually was happier with the end result than things that I'd sort of labored over. And so I think maybe sometimes you could apply the same thing with sort of dance. Sometimes chance things in dance are often the best, you know, when we, you know, things just happen by somebody coming in at a certain point and a movement taking off here, and just at that moment you might have swung your, it just, things that you wouldn't have happened, you know, planned, and they happen, and they're the magic moments, I think.
Wow, thank you so much, Shirley. Well, thank you both. This was wonderful to listen to you, Shirley, and I think we can continue like this for hours, but I think it's good to stop now.
Okay.
And
Jelena, you had this amazing question before about the movement, if you remember. What would be this kind of movement, Shirley, that you maybe remember in all these years that you dance with a striking attitude, or some moment there that you maybe remember? It doesn't matter if you don't.
No. Well, there are a few, I think, really.
Okay, go on.
Well, there was one that we were doing with the other group, the other company, you know, where we had these outrageous sort of headdresses and clothes on, and we were using, was I not knives or scissors, that was it. And it was just really, I remember, you know, it just stayed with me quite enjoyed that. And we worked, and that in that piece, might have been the same piece, we did a lot with water and sand, and I enjoyed that. I loved the first ever piece we did, which was down, and we filmed a lot of it at Southern Down. We were all wearing these sort of very 1950s style clothes, and it was absolutely freezing. And the light was amazing because so the pictures are beautiful, but I mean, it was freezing. And there was some lovely, because that was all built around a lot to do with memories as well. There was some, yes, sort of images I remember, but I couldn't, I mean, it's so long ago now, I can't remember, you know, but yeah, there's been little snippets all the way along, really, you know, but I put it, I'm not on that. If I leave here now, I'll think of things, but you know, offhand, I can't sort of, you know, put them to mind at the moment.
I am the same. And you already gave us few images. I was just imagining these movements with the scissors, and it was amazing.
Well, the other thing is Caroline's a great one for costumes as well. You know, as you know, I mean, I have over the years enjoyed finding costumes with her. We've often done it sometimes, you know, together. And because she's like, we both have a similar thing, that we are great hoarders. And we love period stuff. So we both have lots of sort of, I mean, her far more than me. But anyway, I think sometimes do certain costumes as well that I've sort of, you know, that's stage, you know, and the sort of images of, you know, the costumes have been very strong. And also they make you move in a quite different way. And I've quite enjoyed that, you know, that using for a change, working with, you know, we're always in our tracksuits and things most of the time. To be actually in skirts and with material is quite nice. So I've quite enjoyed that. But yeah.
Thank you.